Welcome back to Paramystic Christina. I'm your host, Christina Bloom, and I am here today with a group of very special ladies. We have a group called the Soulful Sharing Circle,
You
and
got
it's
it.
hard to say, but we have some pretty incredible women in here today. We have Diane Novak, who is an intuitive writing doula, and she has put out several books. She can talk about that. And we have Tara Stricker, who is a life coach and Bach flower remedy
Energy
practitioner,
healer.
energy healer. Thank you. And over in this corner, we have Marilyn Dixon, who is a very creative artist. She makes all kinds of really beautiful artistic things. So we're kind of an eclectic group. We do have a podcast on Clubhouse on Thursday mornings that's open that anyone can join in and talk to us on. So if you have any questions about that, just post them underneath the video and I will get those questions answered for you. But anyway, so we are here to talk about whatever pops into our heads. So could be a wild ride.
Could be.
It could be. We were just discussing accepting diagnosis, I guess is a way to put it. We were talking about what we believe is what we're creating, basically, right? So, if you get a diagnosis that doesn't sit right with you, instead of going back and giving them a chance to find one or create one or whatever, don't take it, right? That's kind of the bottom line that we came to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that can uh parlay into all sorts of our lives. There's all sorts of things that we do not have to accept, and sometimes people like to say, oh, you got to be stronger, you got to be harder, you got to show all this strength so you can live through life. No, you don't have to accept them things. You don't want that in your life, don't accept it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
I
don't know.
think, sorry,
No,
I
go ahead.
think I was just going to say, I think it all boils down to, because like Marilyn said, I think that's with a whole bunch of areas in life. And what it all boils down to is we are the authority of our own lives.
Mhm.
And we
Mm.
we get to say what that is because we're the authority. And I know that that's a big shift for a lot of people because we've given that authority away so freely and we've been taught to always seek others' opinions. And so I think it's definitely this and part of the ascension and part of the growth for all of us is to become our own authority again, which can feel daunting, but definitely when we talk about anything, we get the final say. We have control because we are the authority in our own lives.
I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. That makes total sense to me. It's like we are no longer handing our lives over to the politicians or the doctors, and not that doctors, I want to be clear, I'm not anti-medical care, okay? I think that medical care is a good thing, but we have to trust ourselves and we have to trust what we're getting inside for ourselves. We need to be able to trust that. And I think that a lot of this false information stuff and fake whatever, fake news, whatever, all of that is being set up so that we can all go, wait a minute, what's true for me? Where we can just go inside and go, okay, what's true for me? I don't have to believe whatever I'm being told on the outside. I love that.
Absolutely. And I think, just like you said, if that's, you can go to people for opinions,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. But ultimately, you are the authority. And I think we have been taught to put others on pedestals,
Mm-hmm.
and they are human just like you and I. They are not. They may have more education in one field, or they may have this or that or whatever, but they are not us. And so they are not our bodies, they are not our minds, they are not our souls. And so we ultimately, yeah, I can get opinions from somebody who maybe has done tons of schooling in some area, or has done whatever they need to do to be in a position that they're in, but that
Right.
doesn't mean that I have to make them an authority in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that goes with every part of our lives. Every part of our
Absolutely.
lives. Yeah. Yeah. I can see Diane's brain working there. I can just see.
You see the smoke?
I can see the smoke coming off your top of your head. What do you got going on there, Diane?
Well, listening to Tara and you, Christina, and Marilyn, I'm just sitting here shaking my head. I was this early this morning. I was doing, I don't even know what it's called, lucid dreaming. I don't know. There's things happening, and I was having this discussion about kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. Is that we've been programmed that the person with the education is the one in charge.
Mhm.
And um, not that they haven't maybe learned more than me, like a doctor, they have gone to school and they have, you know, practiced but the thing is, there's so much that's left out of that educational system, particularly like how much education do they get on nutrition?
Hmm.
How much education do they get on the functioning of a woman's body versus a male's body? Um, that their education is higher than mine, yes. But does it make it that like my mom thought anybody in a white coat was had all the answers.
Yeah.
And I did for a while when I was younger, but then I realized, well, that's not necessarily true.
Mhm.
So I think it's very important that we look inside and check in with ourself and our soul and our higher guides and however you do it, whatever words you use for it, to to help us figure out those things. Because w- we know our bodies.
Yes.
I was just going to say that. And Christina, I know you'd said that on one of our clubhouses too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may know about the sciences, or we can go into that too. But you may know about that, but I've been in this body for 47 years, and I know this body and you don't. And
Hmm.
so I will take your opinions, or I will take your educated guesses, then fine. And I think the other thing that I wanted to say with what Diane said is they are limited by their education.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Because I know, like in Germany, they use a lot more homeopathics and a lot more natural. So
Mhm.
the doctor students actually take, you know, herbalist programs. So they know about that.
Mhm.
Or you look at Chinese medicine where it's the meridians and stuff like that, or Ayurvedic medicine where it's including symptoms are included as, mental, physiological, and everything, emotional, and that's all included in a diagnosis that way. So all of those are medical too, but from a different standpoint. So what makes one better than the other?
Right.
Or, so anyway.
Well, it's my understanding that even most medications that are prescribed, the derivatives started from plants anyway, in
Hmm.
most cases, you
Hmm.
know.
Exactly.
So now they've just made synthetic duplicates of plant fibers or whatever. And
Hmm.
obviously, I'm not a scientist because I don't even know all the right words to say, but I do know that that's really where medicine started, was the natural world.
Hmm.
And I work with a naturopath who is amazing. Like, she is so in tune with the natural world, and she is so in tune with what bodies need, and she's very intuitive about it. And I just absolutely love that.
Hmm. I think that's where we're headed. to
Hmm.
be honest, or I hope that's where we're headed for sure.
Right. Or a marriage of the two, which would be
Yeah.
nice, you
Because
know?
again, like you said, there's nothing wrong with, as long as, again, you are the authority. And like Diane said, just because they have a white coat doesn't make them God, doesn't make
Right.
them, you know, universe, source energy, whatever.
Right.
They have an opinion and go to other people. I know when my husband got sick, and I'm going to word this. I wish I wouldn't have been in so much shock, and I wish I would have been a little bit more grounded in the process. That's what I'm going to say. Um, but we just took it as gospel, and we didn't get other opinions, and we didn't, and I think it was, well, I don't think, I know we were in fear mode, and we were just like,
Hmm.
WTF, and went with what was told. But now I know that I would be more, no, I'd have questions. No, I want to speak to other people. No, I want to see, an Ayurvedic
Hmm.
medical doctor. I want to see a Chinese medical doctor. Let's all see, and then I'll make a decision.
Yeah.
I'll make the decision, not you. You can tell me what you want me to do, but I will make the decision because it's my body.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think that that's so true with not just medical, but with nutrition, with work. I
Hmm.
mean, we're all self-employed in this group, I believe, right? So, um, yeah, a lot of people don't understand our paths, and that's okay. They don't have to. It's not theirs, it's ours. But it's really important to me to understand that I'm doing what I'm drawn to do because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing and not giving into, well, why don't you just go get a job and then you'll know how much you're getting paid? Yeah, but I won't be living my purpose. I won't be sharing what I'm supposed to be sharing with the world. I'm not, you know what I mean? And it's like we all
Hmm.
brought gifts to this planet, and I have never believed, and I've gotten myself into a lot of trouble with some people, but I have never believed in the work, eat, sleep, die cycle.
Hmm.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's not a life. That's repeating the same day for how many years?
That's so funny that you say that because I was thinking about that today, about that a different version of, but I thought it's the same thing. It's the same thinking. I'll be happy when.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy
Hmm.
when I retire. I'll be happy when my holidays come. I'll be, or fill in the blank. Maybe it's not happy. Maybe it's I'll be at peace, or I'll be calm, or I'll have time when. And it's always that, not now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, that's what the flower essence was this week too, is about being fully in the present moment.
Right.
Because, and we don't have to get into this because I know it's mind boggling, but there is no time. So past and
Right.
present, I mean, past and future is all within our thinking. And
Right.
so we really, all we have is the eternal now.
Right.
And so, yeah, anyway,
Yeah. Oh, I
tangent.
completely, you know what? We can go as deep into that as you want to. Like this show airs on on a high strangeness network.
I wish I could, to be honest. I wish I could, but it
Well,
makes
we are
my
strange.
it makes my brain hurt because
Yeah.
I can't comprehend that. I understand it at a like soul level or intuitive level, but
Yeah.
how that works,
In the physical world is a little, yeah,
or to
it's
explain linearly, whatever the word is, in a linear fashion,
there you go.
is yeah, not happening. So it's not that I don't want to talk about it, it's I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
And I've
You know,
learned to surrender to that.
there's that, and then, okay, well, the concept of time. Well, concept of time is that we use it to organize what we are doing because that's the only way we have figured out how to organize what we're doing, right? So that's time. That's what we do. But we have had so many discussions in our group about gaining time, losing time.
Mm,
skipping time warps. Like, I mean, it's like we've talked about this a lot
Hmm.
in our groups. And it's really kind of crazy, like, especially in the middle of the night sometimes. Like, I wake up, I'm at that magical age where I get up and use the bathroom several times a night, right? So I'll get up, I'll glance at the clock, it'll say like 1:30. Okay. So I go do my thing, I come back, I go back to sleep, I wake up later, and it'll say like 10:15. I'm sorry, what?
Yep.
How did I go backwards in time? Like, am I time traveling? Am I asleep? What is happening here? But I know, Diane, you had shared some similar
Hmm.
experiences where that's happened. I have had clients contact me and go, okay, either tell me I'm not crazy or call the men in the little white coats. So, because
Yep.
they're having similar kinds of experiences too. And there's a rip in the fabric of the universe right now, and it's getting bigger, I think. I don't, you know what I mean? Does that make
mm.
sense to anybody but me?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
It's
sense.
well, and I mean, yeah, it just when you really sit and think about it, it's like if we didn't have clocks, then you wouldn't know that, right?
Right,
It would all be just how you felt.
right.
And so,
Right.
yeah.
But then, then you do notice those things. Speaking of, somebody saying, call the men with the white coats. Somebody texted me last night late and she goes, "Oh my God, I think I'm going crazy." Literally, she goes, "I'm afraid." And I go, "What?" And she says, "W- What what the hell's going on right now?" She says, I'm extremely tired and then I'm really high and I'm not, it's not depression, it's not bipolar. I've been there, I've done that. It's not those things. And I can't uh see, I want to move this place this place in my business. I've made the plans. I'm ready. Everything's good. And she says, I can't, I can't um I don't remember the term she used, but I'm stuck and I can't take the steps. I think that I'm really going crazy. I think there's something wrong with me. And I go, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You're okay. You're living in this world that we are all living in now, where time is speeding up and slowing down and time jumping and all this other kind of stuff. And she goes, "Well, how do you know if you're time jumping or if you're going crazy?" I said, "Well, I can tell you you're not going crazy. And I can tell you I have been time jumping." She goes, "Well, how do you know?" The things like you said,
Yeah.
Christina, you go to the bathroom and you come back and it's 3 hours later. Well, I know that I didn't go to the bathroom for 3 hours. That much I know. And I didn't wake up on the floor 3 hours later. The things are happening. Um, my husband went to the store the other day. Our new dog eats green beans with his meals. Went to the store the other day, bought some green beans. I saw the flat of green beans that he brought home. I thought, he doesn't usually buy that much, but there it is. I thought that's really smart because he eats a can a day. And so I got in the cupboard yesterday. I said, "This is the last can in the cupboard. Where is the flat of green beans you bought?" He goes, "What?" I go, "The other day when you went to the store, you got a flat of green beans." He goes, "No, I didn't." He goes, "I bought a few cans." I go, "No, I saw the flat." He goes, "Not in this house, you didn't." I'm going, "Okay, well, in the other house, in the other dimension, there's a flat of green
Green
beans."
beans, exactly.
That we could really use right now.
Right?
Let's jump over there and get them.
Yeah,
That's
I need
right.
them because I'm running out here. He goes, well, I'll go to the store tomorrow. I go, okay, but there's a flat of green beans floating around in one dimension that I have been in recently. I don't know where
Yeah,
they are, but uh, and that's how you know. That's what I told my friend. That's how you know these, and people are talking about this more. And she says, why isn't everybody talking about it? I said, because everybody isn't aware of those things.
right.
They don't, they either, they think like I used to, oh, well, I must be going crazy because I thought I saw a lot of green beans. I used to think that, not necessarily that I was going crazy, but like somehow I, I like imagined or
Hmm.
something. It's not that. We are literally changing dimensions.
Right. And in the
I think
process, our DNA is changing, so we are capable of
Right?
shifting dimensions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I was just
Sorry.
gonna say no. I was just gonna say I think that there's also that fear of saying or asking because people
Yep.
may think you're crazy, and I own my crazy. In fact, I was working with someone who we were doing a belief system change, and it just I was guided to say, okay, how do you feel about this as a new belief? I own my crazy, and she loved it, and I'm like, yeah. And so it's time that maybe we own our crazy.
Well,
Well,
I
and
agree. Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, Diane.
Well, I was going to say all of that owning the crazy, that's something that that's a witch wound that we all need to take a look at, because
Hmm.
there was a time that anybody that talked and like this, they were hunted down and killed. And whether we have a direct descendant that happened to, which I wouldn't doubt if we all did, but we saw it. We somewhere in our ancestry, it was seen and witnessed or experienced or both, and it was not safe to talk like this.
Hmm. In some
And
places, it's still not safe to talk like this.
absolutely. And so
But
there is that fear.
Hmm.
I was going to say, I think even calling it a witch wound, because I know I purposely do that too, rather than like spiritual wound or
Hmm.
ancestral wound. We need to start owning those terms like crazy and witch, and we need to make them not that they have to go together like that, um, but we need to start owning those words and making them not so scary or not
Mm,
so judged, I guess.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, I'm crazy. You think I'm crazy? Okay, that's fine. Um, and yeah, I think we need to start taking those words back rather than
Mm,
being bad labels like witch too. You know, and it's like I was talking to a relative about that, and she says, "Well, don't say that in front of the family." I'm like, "No, that's the whole point is to
Yeah.
say it that way because it's going to trigger some, and they're going to be like, well." She's crazy or whatever. And it's like, that's okay because we need to start owning those words. And I'm not going to dance around with it and say, oh, I'm this or I'm that, or I'm going to call it something else because which might offend somebody. That's the whole point is it shouldn't offend somebody. So I'm going to call it that. And if it does offend you, that's on you. And that's your beliefs and your judgments and everything else because I'm taking that word back.
There's a phrase that comes to mind when you say that: comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable.
Yes. Oh, I like that. I feel like that should be my motto.
Write that down, Tara.
Yeah.
But I think, I am brazen enough to say just because you don't understand it doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Hmm.
mm, mhm.
I have said that to a few people, and okay, if you want to think I'm wrong, go ahead and think I'm wrong. But my heart and my soul tells me that this is what's correct for me. And that's really
Mhm.
all anybody needs to know. Marilyn has been suspiciously quiet for a while here.
Well, actually, my brain was sort of centered on on a video that got posted on our chat not long ago with Drew Barrymore, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but just about him talking about, the one most important thing in the world for us should be ourselves. That, that the only person that takes care of us is us. And I think, generational wise, that was like kind of beat out of us. Like,
Yeah.
We didn't, we were made to feel that we didn't know how to take care of ourselves, that other people knew how to take care of us, but we didn't know how to.
But yet
And
we were
so,
responsible for taking care of other people.
Mm.
I see a big change in, this last decade on how people are standing up and saying, no, no, you can't do that. I don't allow that.
Yeah.
So, the progression is very, very interesting to watch and to see. And that was just such a thought-provoking little video that it's really stuck in my head.
Yeah.
So my brain just registered every once in a while saying, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Like, or yes,
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
The let them movement. Has anyone heard about that?
No.
Yes.
Let them. If
Hmm.
somebody wants to disagree with you, let them.
Mm.
If somebody's not going to show up for you the way they said they would, let them. Because all that does is tell you that they're telling you who they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
Yeah.
observe your behavior and all right, I'm just going to let you do that, but in the meantime, I'm going to go live my life.
Yep.
And,
Hmm.
not letting that get to us. Like that used to be so wounding for me. And it no longer is because I just trust that people will do what they want to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And as long as I'm not intentionally hurting anybody, I'm okay with what I'm doing, right? So that's maybe they're not intentionally hurting anybody either. Maybe that's just where their heart's leading them. So let their heart lead them. If
I
it's
think
not,
that's the thing too, is that we need to understand, just like we are operating from our own versions of reality, which is through our beliefs and our perceptions and our woundings and our all of that stuff. So are others, and
yeah,
so I like that as long as it's not, I guess, energetically how it's let them like. I don't know how to explain it. If it's coming from a loving space of they have their path, I have mine, that's fine. If
hmm
it's from an FU, let them, that kind of energy,
yeah,
it's totally different.
I
But I
agree.
agree with it from like yeah, they have their path and I don't know what that path is.
Hmm.
It may not
And
be the things I chose, but I also am not that person and I
Right.
don't know what lessons they are here to learn. So it's none of my business.
And maybe I'm not supposed to be part of their path,
Absolutely.
and I've actually come to a point where I'm okay with not being a part of somebody's path.
Hmm.
That was a pretty difficult thing for me to come to as someone who took everything very personally for a very long time. I no longer take other people's behavior personally because nobody is doing anything because of me. Everyone does what they do because of themselves,
Absolutely.
you know?
that was a very hard one for me to learn because I was born and bred a people pleaser in life,
Hmm.
and I'm also an extreme introvert. So the whole friend concept has caused me so much agony of my own doing in life, because I was so willing to look the other way to, be that little doormat or people pleaser and stuff. And it's just in the last few years now that, that's no longer a priority for me. You want to walk away, like I'll open the door for you. Like,
Hmm.
I just,
Hmm.
it's just my world has gotten a lot smaller, but a lot happier. And there's some days that my whole world is just these four walls, and that's perfectly fine.
I have some days like that too, and then I have other days where I'm out in the world and really connecting with a lot of different people, and that's okay either
Mm-hmm.
way, you know?
Yep.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's like I will have a very busy stint of time and then I'll come home and I won't, my car won't even leave the garage for 3 days. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I just like,
Oh, it's not days for me, it's weeks.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
after tax
okay.
season, you can
Hmm.
guarantee that month of May, I don't want to see anybody's face. You know, I have people to myself to an extreme.
I get that. I get that. I do.
But
I
yet I
think that
Yeah,
enjoy
and
every
almost
moment of it.
I think that almost ties back into what we were saying though. Again, that you are your own authority, so you have to make the decisions that are best for you.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if other people think that you should spend more time out or you should spend more time at home. It's what's right for you, and you get to decide
Mm-hmm.
as your own authority.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
it,
I
I
agree.
think it all goes back to looking at all your programming in different, at different levels and at different times about, um, like you said, Marilyn, people pleaser. That's what you were taught, and that's who you became.
Mm-hmm.
And me too, you know. But somewhere along the line, go, no, one reason is because I'm trying really hard to make your life better, to help you, to please you, and I feel like crap,
Yeah.
you know. Um, so something shifted, and no, I don't need to do that anymore. And but that is the programming that, um, the good girl, the syndrome, and those kinds of things. Is our programming is deep, and looking at it and deciding what we want to do for ourselves, like Tara said, become my own authority. That's a process.
Hmm.
That's a whole learning curve.
Yeah, yeah, and I truly believe that, that I come from the generation of seen but not heard.
Hmm.
You
Women and
know, like,
children, especially. Yeah.
yeah,
Seen but not heard.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And I know Tara's the youngest one in this group, so she, she may not have had quite that much of it, but
I feel like even if you tried it, I feel like that was not a thing for me.
yeah.
And
I'm a pretty, mm, I don't know. I'm not the quietest.
well, my generation, I mean, they had a commercial on TV, at 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your kids are?
I was a
There's
kid
a
when that
whole
was
lot of
on.
truth in that
Yeah.
commercial.
I was a kid when that was on. It's 10
Yes.
o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
But
Yeah.
We were feral on one hand, but we made darn sure that we weren't seen or heard either.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be seen or heard if you're not there.
Right.
That's,
yeah, I don't feel like that was, maybe it just never took with me.
I don't
Because
know.
I found my preschool report card or skills test. It was like Tara likes to speak a lot. And I'm like, shocking. Tara is very social. Yep, yep, that's me. So maybe they tried to program me with that. Didn't work. Didn't take.
Mm, yeah. Mine always says does not work up to potential. That's what mine said. And now it's like people are like, do you ever stop? Like,
Well,
do
I
you?
was just gonna say, who decides that?
Oh, whatever teachers
Holy.
wrote that in.
Oh
It was
yeah.
like, yeah, 4 or 5 years in a row where that was written in, like, does not work
Oh,
up to
there we go
potential.
again
Mm-hmm.
with the
Hmm.
authority.
Yep.
Hmm.
Who the hell
And the
are they to
programming.
decide what that is?
Well, they
I,
should have given me something more interesting to do, is what I'm thinking. Because,
Exactly. Well, and there we go looking at another system that,
yeah,
again, is, it has mile markers or ways of testing that are not suitable for everyone.
right.
And
Not suitable
so,
for most people, actually.
Hmm.
probably,
Hmm.
it's like job evaluations. I
Yeah.
remember like 20 odd years ago getting a job evaluation. And the lady that was my boss, that I had very little to do with, said to me, "You're not very sympathetic." I said, "How would you know? You don't even know me." like,
Wow.
like I thought she couldn't have been more wrong. But
Yeah,
I
interesting.
thought, I thought, like, I've had like 2 conversations with you in the last year. Like, where would you?
Mm.
And I thought that was quite amusing for a job evaluation, which really
Yeah,
had nothing to do with the job I was doing. Yep.
interesting.
Yep.
Mm.
So I thought, yeah, you don't know me.
You know, most of us don't even know ourselves, so how can we even pretend to know other people, you know?
Yeah.
Mm,
So true.
mm,
Yeah, it's taken a lot of years of concerted effort to really get to know me, to
Hmm.
really get to know who I am and what's important to me. And um, I have had that actually kind of thrown up in my face even recently, where someone that I used to date found me on Facebook and was like, "Wow, you've really changed." It's not that I changed, it's that I stopped pretending to be something I thought you wanted me to be.
Mm.
mhm,
I didn't change. I just stopped pretending.
Well, and I mean, you
mhm,
spend decades shedding off everybody else's perceptions before you come up with your own
Right.
of yourself.
mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. It is interesting though, like having social media is really kind of an interesting thing because we get to see how other people perceived us and
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
they perceive us now that we're our authentic selves. Because I didn't like who that was back there. I just didn't know how to be who I am
Mm.
at that point,
Mm.
you know?
Wow,
Um,
that's huge.
yeah, it is. And I think that a lot of people feel that way, but don't know how to say it.
Yep.
Mhm, mhm,
And I think a lot of people don't even, I know for me along mine is, don't even know because they've never been, like I don't know when it comes to what do I really want? I don't know because I've never been in that position to really ask myself. It's like, oh, well, media says that I want the car. Okay, I want the car. Or, my parents said, you want the education. Okay, I want the education. But now when it's, coming back to my authentic self, it's like, what do I really want? I don't
Yeah.
even know. Like, that was a huge thing for me. It's a big question when you're asking yourself truthfully.
Yeah.
Um, what do you really want? Not what everyone else thinks or not what everyone else says or not
Mm-hmm.
what everyone else wants, but what do
Or
you
what
really
you used to
want?
pretend.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mhm,
what we think is, because I know a huge one for me was I want a simple life. I don't want, I just want a simple life, is pretty much what I came down to. And I was like, hmm, because society's always, well, you want to be famous or you want to be big or like with your business, you want, um, to be busy and lots of thousands or whatever. And it's like, yeah, no, I mean, I want my business to thrive,
Mm-hmm.
but I want a simple life. Like that's what I want. I
Right.
don't want a big house. I don't want, you know, all this stuff. I just want a simple life.
mm,
A
I want
cottage
to,
with
yeah.
dogs.
I want a life that's easy to take care of.
Yes. Yeah.
Whatever
mm,
that means to each person, though, you
Hmm.
know, because
mhm,
not everybody finds the same things easy to take care of, you know?
mhm,
That's very true. And like with what I was saying, and that's okay if someone does
mhm,
want the fame or does want the huge house or
Right.
whatever. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Again, it's whatever you want. You're
Hmm.
the authority in your life.
I remember somebody asked me before I got my current car, well, what kind of car do you want? First word out of my mouth, reliable.
mhm,
Fuel efficient would be good. Comfortable because I drive a lot.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it's like, what do I want in a car? Yeah, that's it. Reliable, comfortable, fuel efficient. Like, that's it. I don't
Goes
care what
forwards and backwards and
and works properly,
yeah.
you know, mechanically sound, which is reliable. Gets me from point A to point B. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
happy
I'm
with
not a
it.
bells and whistles girl either.
I do have to say, living in Canada, though, I have tried a heated steering wheel, and yeah, I
Oh
feel
yeah.
I need that.
My husband's car has a heated steering wheel, and I'm like, ooh, this is nice.
I know. I'm like, how come that is not a thing all the time?
Right?
And that is
Yeah.
definitely something I would, if I ever changed vehicles, would have on my want list. I've always been of like, I want power windows and power locks and a radio.
Ah, power
Like
steering is big
I
for
couldn't
me.
care less about all that other stuff they throw in the dash that I never use.
Uh,
But
Ooh,
that
heated
the heated
seats.
steering wheel would be nice.
I like heated seats.
Yeah. I don't have
yes.
And
heated seats or a heated steering wheel, but I have
even in
reliable.
California, yeah, there you go. Even in California, I have the air conditioning blasting and my heated seat on
You
because
will,
it feels good
It
on my
does.
back and my butt, so
yes.
I like that.
Yep. I have reached the point in my life where the heated seats are more about back pain than they are about
Mm,
warmth.
exactly. That's what I use mine for is back pain.
Well, you
But
should have
oh, it
my
feels
soul
good.
then, because my heated seat could burn your butt. It gets so hot so fast.
It's really heated,
Uh,
It's like, oh yeah, off.
huh?
Yeah, that's really that's true though. Like everybody wants something different out of life. So, but capitalism doesn't really take that into consideration. It's like, oh, you have to have the newest and the best of everything. And, it's like I have a cell phone that is kind of losing function here and there, but I don't want to trade it in. I don't want to trade up because I just learned this one. I don't I don't want to have to learn a new phone.
yeah.
I hear you. I had to finally part with my old
Oh
phone.
yeah, I was
And
watching that on the chat.
I finally got it working, but I don't understand most of it.
Well, I think too, though, it's for me, and I think because I'm getting more in touch with my inner child, is I feel like everything has feelings. And so if it's not dead, why do I have to get a new one? And so it's like my old phone is like, but why? Why are you giving me away?
I'm fine. I love you. Don't give me away.
Exactly. So I'm
Oh my
like,
goodness.
I don't need a new phone.
Yeah,
Oh,
mine just wouldn't update anymore, so it was getting highly unreliable.
Yeah, every day I have a new thing, a new window flash up on my computer and say, your computer will become obsolete October 14th, 2025. I'm like, great, that gives me 10 months. I'm good.
Isn't it just that you have to update the software?
It won't update.
Oh,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get to that age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it won't update. And that's why they said, well, basically what it says is that you won't have um, support
oh yes.
after that date. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so then I have to figure out how to take all of these multiple shows that I do and transfer them to a different hard drive. Yeah, I'm not
oh,
Oh,
looking.
get an
fun.
external hard drive.
Oh, I have
Now,
two
how
of
to
those
use
filled
that,
already.
I don't know, but that's what I've been told.
I have a couple of them.
I'd
Yeah.
be hiring the Geek Squad to do it for me.
Yeah, so
After
I'm
this
gonna
last
be.
battle with this phone, like I've had it with electronics. Somebody else is just gonna set it up and I'll pay them.
It should be
That
all
works
on
for
your
me.
YouTube.
I can't
No,
learn from
I
YouTube.
actually I figured out what it was this morning. Was that the SIM card didn't come registered, but the last one did. Because Mark and I have exactly the same phones, eh? So so once I discovered that, I went on and registered, and then I was off and away. But I thought, so why did you send one registered and the other one not? But I only discovered that because I started comparing stuff on both of our phones in the settings, and then I just, and I thought, oh, but waste hours of my life. So next time I'll just pay them.
Yes. So, sometimes it's worth it just to pay somebody to save the time and effort and frustration. What's
Someone who
what's
loves
worth more?
it.
Yes. What's worth more to you, your time or a few dollars? you know?
Yeah.
Well, and that was the thing, like, because when
Mhm.
we got Mark's phone before we got mine, because I was still trying to hold on to my old phone, even though it didn't work properly. and and his was so simple that I just never thought, oh yeah, I'll just order one for myself. I can do this. And it was just nothing but problems.
Well, there you go.
The resistance, you had resistance to
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, the electronic gods were not in my favor.
Maybe there needs to be like a ritual or a prayer ceremony or something to the electronic gods prior to trying to update something, because I'm thinking that's what I need to do with this
Yeah,
whole computer
if you'll
issue.
work with me, I promise I will not lose my shit.
I can't make that promise. Ladies, this has been a load of fun. I want to thank you so much. And Tara, could you let people know how to join us on the Clubhouse?
Yes. So we are Soulful Sharing Circle. There's a couple of us missing. Sorry. And so you just join the Clubhouse app and you can download that in app stores. And then you look up Soulful Sharing Circle. And it's a house under my name, Tara Stricker, or TSW Life Coaching. And I think you can find it under either. And then you just join. And we post the links whenever we're guided to have a conversation. We do it every Thursday morning, but we post the links sometimes really early, sometimes Wednesday nights, for what the conversation topic is. And it's just everyone's welcome. And it's just the reason it was created was to create a supportive community to have spiritual discussions, however that looks.
Kind of like this.
Yeah, exactly. This is like one of our soulful sharing circles.
It is,
It
except that that's only
flows.
audio. There's no
Yes,
video on that one. It's only audio, so you don't have to worry about your face being shown to everybody.
which is nice,
Yes, because it's
especially
in the
for the
morning.
yes, and I was going to say especially for the Californians who will get up at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy early. Wow, you guys are amazing, I tell you. So thank you, ladies. This has been an amazing conversation, and thank you for coming on and talking to me. And I'm sure that we will, well, tomorrow is Soulful Sharing Circle since we're doing this on Wednesday, and this show will release on a Wednesday. So that always helps. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And you have been listening to Paramystic Christina on Zone 5 Radio.